Yo,
Yo,
today I'm gonna show you guys how to make a Twitter header, specifically anime, but it could be for any genre you want. First things first, make sure your dimensions are 1500 by 500. So the first thing I could do is just find a picture. This is going to be the main focus of the whole banner or header. It can be from the show or a picture, and you can pen tool it out like I'm doing right here, or you can just find a PNG. I personally like to take a picture out and snip it because I feel like there's better higher quality pictures and there's better options to choose from rather than trying to find a PNG. The next step with the banner is deciding your background. So the first thing I do is usually blur out the background to give more focus on the main picture, and then I decide maybe do I want to add patterns, do I want to add pictures, text, and in this case I did add some pictures. So as you see here, I'm just mapping out and planning out where they're going to be, and I'll be adding the effects later on. So now I start by adding my beginning effects for the background. I must first start off by trying to dramatize the eye by just coloring it in with a lighter color and using my blend modes. This is a great way to dramatize colors and make them pop. Then I'm going to add a speed effect by duplicating my layer and moving it to the left or right a bit and adding a motion blur. For the picture on the right, I want to give it a flashback type of look. So what I'm going to do is actually use my paintbrush tool and get a black soft brush and color around the picture and lower the opacity. So now it's time to apply your main effects, right? Put your music up and get creative basically. So what I first like to do with this banner was actually try and make the colors fade in together. So I added a gradient on the left side, a pink one, and on the right side is obviously going to be green. And this kind of just helps each other fade in from one side to the next. After this, what I did was I seen where the light hit Zoro, and on the right side I colored that in with green, and on the left side I colored that in with pink, and then I use my blend modes to kind of make it look more realistic. This makes it kind of look like there's a pink lighting on the left side of Zoro and there's a green lighting on the right side of him. So another great tip is adding a glare effect on the eyes, right? This is usually what you normally see on anime. So how I did this is use a brush with a white color and make a straight line with the dot in the middle and just lower the opacity. It's a really simple, really cool effect. And then another great tip is what you guys will see here is a simple Google search of any color and then particles will give you great stock images that you can add onto your picture and just use blend modes as you see here, and it'll give a nice particle effect to any picture that you really have. You just gotta pick the right blending mode. So the next step is actually deciding where I'm going to place my text. This is important because I don't want more complicated effects being covered or being disturbed by my text. And a huge little tip I give you guys is taking borders. How you do this is drag them from the top of the number line, and you can just basically drag them down or to the right. As you see here, I'm planning out maybe I'll put it behind the main character, or maybe I'll put it underneath him and make it covered by the sword, or I can even add the text to the left side of the page, the right side of the page. There's a bunch of different placements I can make it, and I'm just kind of deciding where I want to put it. I don't have to really make a decision just yet, but this gives me a good idea about my options and where I want to put my other effects. So now I'll be talking about GFX packs. These are packs that include many different types of textures and particles and a lot of different tools that you can use to enhance your work. If you guys want, I can definitely make a video on a bunch of free top quality GFX packs because most of them are paid, but there's a bunch of good free options out there. So let me know what you guys think about that because this can definitely make your work go to that next level. So what I'm using the graphics pack here for is I'm taking out the textures and I'm basically applying my work. Then I use the blend modes to take away the background and just keep the textures. This adds a definition to my work and textures that you can't really achieve otherwise. So now it's time for my final closing effects that brings the piece together. I'm going to decide that I'm going to do a speed effect on Zoro, and how I'm going to do this is duplicate him and give him a color overlay of black. Then we're going to motion blur this and duplicate him 2 more times, right? We're going to move him a little to the right and the other one a little to the left and motion blur both of those. Keep all these layers behind him and it gives a little bit of a shadow. After this is we take the Zoro that hasn't been altered at all and we're going to use a straight marquee tool and cut pieces out and move it to the right and left. What this is going to do is add a little bit of a glitchy type of look, but it's going to make it feel like as if there's a speed, as if there's wind passing by. So now I'm going to add some text in the back saying onigiri, which is the actual move that he's doing, and I'm going to make it that it's only a stroke only. And to do this, you want to go into your blending options, and where it says fill opacity on the main menu, you want to put that to 0. Then you apply your stroke, and then you have the word with only the outline. Then I'm going to add a fisheye lens effect to it, and to do this, you want to go into your filter and lens corrections, and once you open that up, you go into your custom, and the top bar, you can move that around and play with it. It says distortion, and it's going to give you a reverse fisheye lens or the fisheye lens effect. And now I'm going to be applying my text, and my text I decided that I'm going to do at the bottom, because if I did at the top, it'll be a little confusing and it'll affect the effect of the onigiri in the back. So I'm gonna have it at the bottom, and I'm gonna give it an outline and a stroke. Then I'm going to be looking for a wind effect to basically put underneath my text to make it look as if it's levitating and to give it like a 3D type of look. Then I'm going to add clouds. Now clouds is a nice effect that I put on so many of my headers and banners, and a quick tip with them is actually to give it a gradient overlay, because when you give it a gradient overlay and you put it over the color that it is, so for example, I'm putting a green gradient overlay over my clouds when I put it over my green colors. This isn't going to dull out the green, and it's going to actually give it a more vibrant look. Now I'm going to also put a thunderbolt that I just found on Google, and instead of keeping it the stock color, I matched it with the color theme of my header. So an underused aspect of Photoshop is the effects that are built in, right? If you look at the bottom right corner of your app, you'll see a circle that is half filled, and it's filled up diagonally. You click on it and it comes up with a list of effects. The first effect that I like to use is brightness and contrast, to make the darks a little more darker and to make the banner, your piece of art, whatever you're doing, brighter. You can use curves, and I like the S-shaped curve that you'll learn about a lot, and I can even make a tutorial about, because it's a huge effect to add on. The vibrance to basically make the colors pop out more. Hue and saturation is basically used to make your colors more rich, and my favorite one of all is the selective color. Now the selective color is used to, you can select a color on your art piece, your work, your banner, whatever. So say reds, and you can mix around with the different colors on it. So if you lower up one color aspect of the reds, it can make the red pop out more, or you can make it less pop out. So this helps you focus on colors specifically rather than affecting the whole banner or whatever you're working on. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys for real. Leave a like, a comment, subscribe, do anything you want. A bunch of new shit's coming your way. I'm talking tutorials, speedruns, headers, we're talking banners, anything you guys want, name it, I got you. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.